What is up, everybody? My name is Dane Thompson. Welcome back to another episode of Burn Down. So we are back for Rocky Mountain Race Week 2021 1.0, and I will tell you what, before we get this video started, that there is no way I could have really prepared for what we did. I had no idea how long some of the drive days were going to be. We did almost 500 miles in one of the stretches, and I think like at a 300 in another one. So just to give you an idea, where I live in Southern California, I can get all the way to Vegas in like 300 miles. 500 is a stretch even in a normal passenger car. So we are definitely going to go back to the drawing board and do a few things. Although the car still runs, still works, it's leaking some trans fluid, needs to be resealed. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to pull the whole drivetrain out. I'm going to look at the bearings and the engine, because bearings are cheap. See the condition of it, make sure we weren't knocking on them, make sure the shape is still good, they didn't get roached by any means. And then I got to reseal the transmission anyway, and I got to cut the bell housing, because I ended up having to put a stock bell housing transmission in due to time constraints. So we've got our work cut out for us on the boom. We're going to kind of leave her be for a little bit. I have to recoup some money and some time so we can actually do that. So I don't want to pull the car apart right now, because otherwise it'll just sit here and it won't run. Because right now it runs and moves around. She's not in fighting shape. Everybody's asked me if I was gonna go to the local track. Everybody's really excited to see me out here again. But it'll be a little while. We're gonna freshen the thing up, because I'd rather not ruin it after we beat on it. And she took care of me. Go boom go. The boom did well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna shift gears a little bit, because right before I left for Rocky Mountain Race Week, my wife decided to add a little more to my plate. And she was like, hey, we're gonna go camping. You're gonna go do this. We're gonna go camping and we need the motorhome. Well, for those of you guys that follow along, you know we got to a certain point on that, and then we kind of jumped to the car and had a bunch of issues. And then we took this car all the way to where you see it now. Well, the motorhome, it still runs and drives and moves around. It's just been sitting for a while. So we put a battery in. I fired it up not too long ago. But the big thing where we left off on the motorhome was the wheels and tires. So these are a 5-lug. And it's a special pattern. You don't find these very often. They quit making these. And these are a split wheel. So see this ring right here? This actually comes off. This is a bias ply. It should have a tube in it. And I've got 6 wheels that are just like this. Well, a split wheel is not, it's not actually legal anymore. So you can't technically drive this around. Even if I did, and I said, screw it, I'm just gonna drive it anyway. Well, if I had an issue with it, there's not a tire shop that would touch this. So what we did is I ended up finding a whole set of 5-lug, they're 5-on-8 lug wheels. I got brand new tires. They're radial, so if I do have an issue, I believe it's like a 19.5, we could fix, replace, and all that fun stuff. Well, I barely got to the point to where I bought the wheels, had them mounted, powder coated. They look rad. I don't know if I ever showed them. We'll go over them today. So the plan today is to, I don't even know if I can jack this thing up, but I guess we'll figure it out. We'll see. We're gonna give that little Harbor Freight jack run for its money today. We're gonna jack this thing up, and I need to look at the wheel cylinders, because rubber goes bad. This thing's a 72, I believe it is, and it stops, it works, but I don't feel right about putting my family in it, sending them on a trip. And next year, my wife's like, you're not leaving me home. We're going to Rocky Mountain Race Week. So the plan really is to get this thing lined out, and this is gonna be my support vehicle for events. So even come next year, Rocky Mountain Race Week, I believe the motorhome will go from track to track, and that's where I will sleep and kind of use as a home base. I can't use it as support while we're racing, but after hours I can sleep in it and the family can go. So we need to get this thing lined out. But that's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna play the car hokey pokey, shuffle them around. We're gonna stick the car in the motorhome in the driveway, and hopefully try to pull some wheels out. I don't even know. I got a breaker bar and stuff. But yeah, I'm a little dude. Those are some big lug nuts that have probably been on there for a long time. So this should be interesting. Let's pull some wheels off, look at some brake stuff. Drum brakes, my favorite. Can't wait. Let's do this. Hey, buddy.
What?
Come here. I think there's some treasure over here.
I guess I already...
Check it out. Look in the back seat, behind the back seat, on the ground.
I already know that.
Get them, dude. You'll put those in your account. Some go-kart money right there, boy.
How long was that?
Huh?
How long was in there?
I don't know. I think Daddy probably dropped it And even the Applehead, he's getting rugged. She's too hot. We're gonna have to glue him back down.
Alright.
I'm gonna check fluids and stuff and make sure this thing can run and drive, and then we'll park it in the street. We'll get the motorhome fired. We'll put her here, and then we'll put the car back on that side, and it'll probably live there for a little bit. So let's play car hokey pokey. All right, the old girl has fluids. This thing still has stuff like residual hazing all over the back of it. How you doing, old friend? Let's see how she's doing today. Yeah, this dash seems like it's loose. It hasn't been started in quite a while. Well, I built like 25, 24 pounds at idle. So typically you see a bunch more oil pressure. So we'll pull this thing out, go through it, make sure she's healthy, see what the bearings look like. But it still runs, so I'm happy with that. We'll just inspect all the parts. So let's get this moved over, move the Twinnebago over, and we'll get cracking. We got Exhibit A to run. Let's see if Exhibit B will fire up. So, that's my buddy Chris donated a battery. So we got this big boy in here. I put it in there a little while ago to see if it'd fire up. So, let's see. Ooh, it's actually still got some juice. Let's just slide it down there, see if that'll work. This thing's been sitting for a little while, but today's the day we get back on it. The thing that's funny with these is it's part house and part car. I'm good at the house, or the house. I'm good at the car portion of things. I'm not good at the house portion. I hate working on house anything. It really is terrible. So I didn't really take into account if you buy a motorhome, it's basically never only house. So next time we'll just buy one that functions properly. Go gadget. Oh, looks like the gauge worked. This thing's a champ, man. Hopefully this thing treats me good. That thing fired right up. Granted, like I said, it's all brand new motor and everything. Well, transmission's a junkyard, but engine was rebuilt fresh. Pumps and oil pumps, fuel pumps, and computer. Yeah, computer's looking good. So we'll have to put a little screen back in too. I love the screen of Jeff, like freaking forever ago, and then he gave it back, and it's been sitting on the shelf because we haven't driven this thing. So maybe we'll snake the little screen back in here too, so we can see how this thing's doing. So I'm not gonna talk. Try to back this thing up. We got to turn around and put it back in the driveway, and then we can start seeing if I can pull wheels off. Bam! All right. So we got her chilling in the driveway. We'll grab the jack, see what we can do, and then I want to show you guys something. I think this is probably true to this because it's a Dodge. It's a Dodge. I don't know if it's labeled or marked, but on Dodge, typically I want to say on this side, passenger side I believe it is, they're right-hand thread, and they're usually labeled. I don't know if that one's labeled. Yep, there it is. So there's an R. So all the lug nuts on this side go backwards. So if you ever deal with a Dodge, I'm not sure if the only manufacturer that does that, but you guys can chime in. These are right-hand threads. So you basically have to tighten it to loosen it. The other side is standard. This side is backwards. So, all right, let the struggle commence. So earlier, so these have an R, so these are right-hand threads. So these are standard, so righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. These ones are the tricky SOBs. And it's funny because I broke all these loose by hand. Oh, of course, now they're not gonna be loose, but these say left on them. So these ones, you turn it right. Of course, there you go. So you turn it right to loosen it and then left to tighten it. So this side is the tricky side. But yeah, we broke these loose by hand, and then I tried the other side and I was like dying. And then I busted out the old earthquake, which I didn't think would have enough gumption, but yeah, she got the job done. Perfect for the win. Then I had to get an adapter for my little sucketta. So let's jack it up, find something to stick underneath it, pull the wheels off, and give the brakes a once over. So these tires may not look that big, but these are what we were spinning in that video. So, pretty good size. Yeah, a little bigger than my old truck tire back there. So, they seem lighter than the new ones I have though for some reason. So, maybe because they're bias supply or something. I don't have the radial steel belting, but anyway, no idea how to pull that off. So I'll get the other side off and then we'll dig into this. I never worked on this. Is 10.5, I believe. So yeah, I don't even know if I can lift that thing, dude. So I ran into a snag on this thing and I was kind of beating on this, moving on. I don't have anything to grab it, and I'm looking back here and I think this thing is threaded. So I went and bought a socket. The 2 1/4 is what it measured out, and that was too big and it was moving around, so I went and bought this one. Now it's not the right size. So I'm done playing with this thing. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna clean that up. And we got a whole mess of these big sockets over here that I'm probably never gonna use for anything, even if I do, whatever. So we are going to pick one of these guys. I'm gonna weld it to that thing. We'll just throw some good tacks on it. Then I can put a wrench in here and then spin it. And like I said, I think that thing comes out. So we'll just pick one of these dudes, clean it up, stick it to it, and then hopefully that'll spin it off. We can get on with life, man. I wasted 2 trips to the store. It's kind of midday, so I don't even know if I can get brake parts at this point because we were screwing around so much. So let me see if I can get this thing off. All right, threw a few tacks on there. A little desperation action. I'm really sick of going to the store, and I'm already pretty wore out, to tell you the truth. Still should probably be resting, but just taking it easy, leisure pace today. So let's whack this turn. See if it breaks my welds off, or if it's plays nice. Well, there you go. That's one way to skin a cat. I think I'm just gonna pick another socket, stick it to the other side, and do the same thing, and then I don't know, I'll figure out how to cut these off. But victory, small victory. Hopefully I got the size for that nut too. This big stuff, I don't have these big tools, man. This is all big boy stuff. So at least I was right, and it was threaded. Now I feel better about my decision. We know that we don't have the socket size, so I shouldn't really have to do brakes all that much, so whatever. We'll just do this. Not the right way to do it, so no idea what size that is. Don't care. Okay, so we got this big dog off, and then yeah, it's pretty much, this is what I was thinking. So see this thing? See how it's cracked? I just don't like that. We're gonna do the front two for sure. Most of your braking is done on the front. The rears, I think we got 4 of those bad boys on the rear, so hopefully they don't start leaking on me. I've got a dual master. We'll keep an eye on it. I'm gonna see if I can hopefully get this part So maybe we'll run down to Napa now and see if I can order this and get it sometime this weekend. The shoes, not too bad. Looks like we got some meat on them on front and back. It's a little thin down here, but I doubt I can get shoes for this. So, and then this dude itself, okay. Ah! I'm gonna drop it. It's actually not bad. A little grooved out, but nothing too crazy. Bearings look like they could be, you know, repacked. So we will go ahead. Oh geez. All right, I'm not gonna try to do that one-handed, so I'm gonna hurt myself. But so we'll run down to Napa, see if I can get some wheel cylinders, and then that is it. We'll repack the bearings. If I can get the wheel cylinders, we'll take all apart, put the wheel cylinders in. There's no reason to really, I don't think, pull them out at this point. I wanted to put eyes on them though. If they look good, but the problem, here's the problem with rubber. Rubber rots from the inside out. Most people, like, you see a tire and like, oh, the tire's cool. And then the only other thing too is this is a little tensioner. You know, this is my little tensioner, and this is a spring that holds this dude. So when you tighten it, it basically locks it in place. So yeah, we'll have to, this guy broke. I doubt, you know, obviously we get that, but it's been broke, by the way, because that's not a fresh, I didn't freshly snap that off. It's dirty in there. So we'll set these, and we'll just have to keep an eye on the brake setting. So it is what we got, so we'll keep on rolling. All right, the good news is I was able to find all the parts, or part numbers for the people at Napa. I went in there and they told me they didn't have anything, and then I gave them numbers and they're like, hey, those are our part numbers. Hey, this is in the warehouse. So do your due diligence. There's a place called Dave's Place I just found on the internet. We'll see if the numbers coincide correctly. But bad news is I won't get parts till tomorrow. And I'm smart enough to know this is a pro tip with drum brakes. You don't want to rip everything apart and then try to redo it. You want to do one side at a time so you have the other side for reference, unless you're really good at it, which I'm not. So this side's pretty well open. And then I was also able to get shoes. So we're gonna have new wheel cylinders and shoes, so I feel really comfortable and confident about the braking system. The lines are new, the master cylinder is rock and roll, so that is good. So we'll get that all taken care of. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna mess with trying to pull the water tank out, see if we can get it all rinsed out, and kind of take a look at what's in the back. So we'll unscrew it. My wife's helping me. We'll see if we can struggle to get this thing out. Maybe rinse it out, put it on the lawn, and kind of see what we're up against. So this is a water tank. We're trying to get it out. Somebody put a junction box in the way. So I'm hoping I can kind of like pick it up and twist it, and we'll be able to get it out. We'll rinse it off and clean all this stuff out. Looks to be in good shape, but we'll find out. I guess we'll throw some water in it if we get it outside. So that was pretty easy. She came out, ooh, quarter. Look at that, rich. 84. We'll clean all this up. So we got little turds and stuff back there, but the thing fit in fairly well. But I'll show you, they had a electrical box, and it looks like they put it through the wrong knockout, and it was low. And it was where the fill is. So I don't even know how they're filling this tank, which is odd. So this knockout sat here, and the fill was like right below it. This guy was supposed to plug in, but it was literally against the bottom of this. So I haven't decided. I don't know what we're gonna do with this. I don't think I need this 110. I think we're just gonna cut it off. And the problem though is I don't know if this is, no, because it's going through shore power. I think what we'll do is we'll have to cap these, because those are gonna be liable. I'll go on the panel, I'll see where these go to. As long as it runs off the shore power cord and I still have the 110 inside, we'll just ditch this, because I've got a plug on my generator if I need outside power. And that way I can plumb this correctly and get stuff out of the way. And then also, it's my inverter. I think this guy's just, well, at least it's screwed to something. It's actually screwed in. And then we've got some lines here. So yeah, we'll have to triple check all that stuff. So making progress. We'll get this all cleaned up, and then we'll slide the tank back in, so at least we'll have a clean water tank. It doesn't look too bad. We'll rinse it out. I think there's some stuff maybe you throw in there just to make sure the water's good. We won't drink out of that. That should just be for like flushing toilets and washing things and whatnot. So, all right, well, cool. Progress. All right, so we rinsed the crap out of this thing. I threw a bunch of stainless hardware in. We shook it up multiple times. Looks like there's a little bit of stuff kind of maybe still stuck in there. We're gonna put water and bleach in it, swirl it around, then let it kind of hang out, and then come back in like an hour or something, and we'll rinse it off real good, let it dry out, and then we're gonna repeat it I think tomorrow. So we'll let this thing air out tonight. So we eliminated the box that went here. I don't need an outside plug, but it looked like a junction, so the wires that came in to the box and then out of, I rerouted them, and I knocked out one of these knockouts, and then I'll show you guys. I just rewired it. I'm gonna put the last wire on.
Call an agent for quote today.
So here's my panel, and this is my last one. So I ran the ground and then the white, and then this guy will go in this breaker. So this breaker fed that plug, and then that plug fed whatever this is. So we'll plug it in. These used to come from the generator, so we don't need those anymore. And then these were the other two that went with the original that fed that plug. So we'll get rid of these. We'll plug this in, I'll get some gas, and we'll flip this, and hopefully things don't catch fire, and we'll make sure all of our 110 outlet stuff works. Alright, got the old Predator hooked up. I think what we'll do too at some point is I'll just get rid of the short power, or we'll make a hole or whatever, and then I'll just have it plugged in full time. I gotta vent this whole enclosure anyway, and then that way we can just unplug it from here if we want to run shore power, but that way it can just be plugged in. But anyway, this thing has been sitting for a minute, so look at that thing, dude. Bam. I know it's gotta be super low on fuel, but it's running. Let's see if the stuff works.
I saw you there.
Watch out,
waving
Bubba.
at you.
You're waving at me? Let's see, that is on. That's AC. Let's see, this guy will just kick on. Okay, so I got my hand too. That is on. Power on. Those should be on now.
There it goes.
Okay, so that's on. Microwave, whatever's in there. Alright. Huh. Kids in the bathroom. So I think that works. The generator's running still. We can see what else, but I think everything else, I think it's probably running out of fuel. What else do we have? I don't know. Well, it looks like, you know, that worked and that worked. I don't know what else. Try one of those fans. Turn the little fan on. It's on the bottom, I think. You just twist it somewhere. Huh. Oh, I think that's the inverter. Let me see if I can turn the inverter on. Alright, try a little fan. Oh, there you go. I clipped the wires to it. It'll work. I gotta put it back in.
Right. Look at my AC.
Okay, so I think we're good with all this stuff. I think everything works. We got lights. Okay, so all this stuff works. My wiring's good. I just want to make sure I didn't break any 110 circuits. So at least those things work. But I think we're good there. And then, oh jeez. Yes, sir. Are you stuck in here? Are you pooping? Are you pooping in there? Are you sure?
Nope.
Okay, we'll go shut this thing off and then get this buttoned up. We're waiting for that thing to bleach out. We're gonna leave that the rest of the day. We'll continue to clean up a bit, but I think we wrapped this, at least for now. That is gonna wrap it, I think, for today. It's kind of getting late. It's dwindling down. We're just basically like cleaning in there. Brake parts are on the way from Napa. I'll pick those up tomorrow. I'm hoping they make it to the warehouse at a decent hour, but I don't know. It's Sunday. So we'll see. They're probably gonna call me in today, and then it is what it is. So I don't want to pull anything else apart in case they don't call me, because I'd like to put this back. I need my driveway so I can actually do work. So we're just gonna wait on Napa, and if they call me, we'll get all the brake stuff situated, and then I don't need to show you guys that unless I feel there's something important. But it's a standard brake job. It's a regular drum, shoe brake system. The springs, I was dreading they were gonna be giant, but they're not. What's up, buddy? So all in all, I think it's pretty decent. We'll bring you guys back maybe for a look at it, and we'll let you know how things went. But I've got wheels and tires for it that I'm excited to put on, and they're 19.5. I think they're hopefully like the same size as these height wise. But yeah, we'll get those done. We'll swap the rears out. They're powder coated white. The tires are new. This thing's gonna look amazing with those. Looks like we got the electrical kind of wrapped for the most part. We'll have to go through some of this. I got to get the pumps and everything sorted as well once we get the tank running. But it looks like the inverter works. Obviously AC works. That is very important. Once we get the water hooked up, we'll make sure that pump works. I have no idea what I'm doing with that, so we'll learn as we go. But if we can get the water to run, the AC works, electrical works, the brakes work, sounds like we're pretty close to rolling. So that is it. We'll get it cleaned up so we don't look so white trash fabulous, and then you guys know what to do. Thank you for following along. Thank you for sticking along with the adventure. I know we're flip-flopping between random motorhome videos and racing videos, but I promise you these are going to go together like peanut butter and jelly, because this is going to tow that, and we're going to come to events, and we're going to go fast, we're going to have fun, we're going to smile the whole time. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. Till next time, I'm out.